All right, I'm back. I'm gonna take a little break from doing jigs today. A customer of mine needs his son's rod repaired. This guide is broken. Yeah, I fell out. I have a new guide here for it. I'm gonna replace it. This is gonna be a more difficult one to do because it's underwrapped trim bands, and this is kind of an old rod, I think. So we'll make sure that we don't mess this rod up. It is a Penn Slammer, and his son's coming down to visit him, and he wants his rods to be done by Friday. And that might be a problem for me because of the dry-in process. I like to dry my rods 3 coats for 72 hours. But I'm gonna try and do it in 2 coats and make sure that we get it done in time. I already measured all the bands and the turns for the trim. I'm putting masking tape on the ends here because I do not want to cut into this blank with my razor and nick the rod, because then it's going to be ruined, and we don't want that because I would be embarrassed, and I do not really want to have to go buy a new rod for this guy. So I'm just going to protect the rod blank a little bit. This one is going to be a little bit more difficult just because of the simple fact it's at the tip of the rod, and the rod seems to have, it flexes, has more flex at the tip. So I'm using my CRB rail and power wrapper. Got it from Mud Hole. I love that place. Unfortunately, I live like 90 miles from it now. Used to live like 10. But let's see what happens here. Okay, the process is I do not want to cut into the blank underneath the threads. I'm going to cut towards the guide so the metal blocks my hand so we don't have any accidents and I don't accidentally say cuss words on here. I'm only going to remove where the base of the foot is so I can pull the foot off, and then I will use my tools to work the epoxy off very carefully. So when we get started, this is what I do. If you can figure out a better process, let me know. This is going to take a little while. I'm going to try and do it quick, but I need to do it right. So I can see right here where the foot ends underneath the threads. So I'm just going to go and I'm just going to work it. Comes up. It's very nice to have a rod back on my rail. I haven't had one here in Tampa yet, so I'm super excited about this. I'm gonna go to the other side, cut up. Don't really care if I damage the ring in here. Okay, I can see the middle of the foot. Go back a little bit more. See if I can pull it. Nope. I'm gonna take some more epoxy off here. All right, I can see the foot. Epoxy is coming off pretty good. Okay, got the foot up and it's off. Okay, so one thing I wanted to see is if the underwrap went all the way from here through here, and so far it looks like it does, so it will be a full power wrap underwrap. I'm gonna get my little tools here. I love these tools. And I'm just gonna pick. Okay, there we go. This does tear up your fingernails too. Also, when I was inspecting this rod, I did see some pretty not so good trim band work there. Way to go, Penn. You see the tag end sticking through like crazy on a couple of the guides. But I don't have time to do the whole rod, and that's not what he asked for, so I'll talk to him about that later, after he gets to go fishing with his son. All right, it's coming off pretty good. It seems to get a little bit harder as you get closer to the end. I will use 600 grit sandpaper on the rod to smooth it out and get all the epoxy off when I'm done. so I can, when I wrap it, it will be nice and smooth. Sometimes you can really get it to go with the threads. After I do this, I'll make the video that I promised on my Facebook Live for the painting of jig heads. I got a little busy this week after I did the Facebook Live and didn't have time to do it. I will wrap it with D thread, since I know that he's going boat fishing and he's going to be going for the snappers over here off the port in Tampa. I'm assuming that's what he's been fishing for. He gave me some really, really nice fillets a couple weeks ago. It's very stressful to not damage the rod. This epoxy is really on here, right here. It's very thick. Trying not to damage the rod any. All right, got it off. Looks like they might have used A thread there, which I do have in these colors. Yeah, it's A thread for sure. But the black is D, can totally tell. Sometimes you can get it, I've done a lot of guides and rod refurbishing over the past. Refurbishing rods is not easy by any means. Okay, so now I can get this maybe to pull the threads on out. So what I'll do is, if I can get it to keep going without breaking, yeah, see, this was gonna make it so much easier, because I'm just pulling the thread out from underneath the epoxy, and that way I can get my tool underneath there and just pull the epoxy right up. I did not heat it up at all, because I tried that one time on a practice refurbished rod that I did, and well, I ended up throwing that rod away. Oh, it broke. All right, let me see if I can get some underneath here. Don't want to stab my hands, so I try to keep my hands out of the way. And see, I went way underneath there. Now I can just peel it off. I'm super enjoying this. It's been about 4 months since I've had a rod on a rail with the move and everything that we had to do. Still haven't set my shop up yet either. It's kind of like all over the place. And I'm trying to do this before it gets too hot, because my shop is literally my garage, and it's getting hot over here. We haven't had any rain in the past couple of weeks. All right. Getting close to the end of this side. Yeah, I get a little nervous, because I definitely do not want to slip underneath that tape or skip over it and hit up here, because this rod is not scratched, and I do not want to scratch this rod. It did pull off a little bit of the epoxy right there. It did pull off a little bit of the color of the paint, but that's okay, because I have, actually, it's over there. I'm not gonna get it right now, but I do have some stuff that I can put on there to seal it up. Okay, this here, since it's already kind of doing that, I will hit with the 600 grit sandpaper so I don't cut into the fibers of the blank. Get something with a little smaller tip here, because this is where I'm trying to get the under wrap up. I'm going to use my razor, and you want to be very careful, so I'm just going to kind of go across the top of it a little bit, just so I'm not hitting the blank. Okay, I'm gonna pull some of these fibers up. All right, let's see if we can get it now. There we go. If I can get the wrap to start turning, I get a good long thread, I can probably just go all the way back across. There we go. So now I'm gonna go back across. Nope, it broke. Try it again, get this little piece off here. And you can see where it's kind of got a little bit of silver there. I will get that off with the sandpaper because I don't want to get into the blank. Take my razor again. Just go across the top of the threads. I'm just barely shaving it. I'm not even cutting all the way to the bottom. I'm just trying to get a hair to stick up or a thread to stick up so I can unravel it again. Okay, here's a couple pieces. Oh, nope, I already frayed that, so. Whoever wrapped this rod wrapped it really tight. There we go, got a nice big chunk of it. Go back over here. Get that off. All right. Oh, I see one there. Yes. All right, I should be good to go all the way across now because I haven't used any of that, so it's just coming right off. Pretty sure this is metallic red. Okay, I'm in the trim band area. It's definitely metallic thread. It's wrapping around like a wire. Tag off. I definitely use color protected on this, so it's like gluing the thread down to the blank. Okay. Hopefully I can just get it to keep going underneath the epoxy and do like I did on the other side. Yep. Because I don't know how far it's going to go because this is not the black. Hopefully pull out some of that black and then get a tag in off of it and do it other. Tag there. I'm literally pulling the under wrap out from underneath the black over wrap that's in there. I'm actually surprised it hasn't broken yet because usually it doesn't go this far without breaking because it's getting deep in there now. Should be able to see it coming out soon. Oh, there it goes. Get my hands untangled here. And take my little tool. Go get some of this epoxy off. Yeah, I can see all the black thread there. I will not be editing this video because I do not have an editor device on my phone and I do not have a computer. So anything you see me do is going to be raw and real. Every time I do this, even though I've done it tons of times before, I feel like I'm learning how to do it again every time. Every rod that I've ever done has been different. No rod has ever been the same. Wrap style, thread, epoxies. Okay. Oh, what's going here? Stuff's getting everywhere now. Find a big gap there. Whew. I'm all in the epoxy now. And it looks like we're gonna be about done here in a second with this. Okay, I'm definitely getting to the end of the blank here, or the wrap, so I'm gonna be careful. So far I've successfully not scratched this blank, so that's a bonus. I've never scratched one before, and I sure as heck don't want this to be the first one. I'm a little nervous, my hands are shaking. Okay. Bam, and just like that, it's off. It only took 16 minutes. This is actually 1200. I'm gonna start with the 1200 to see how it does. Get my power wrapper pedal here. Yeah, still feel a lot of bumps from the epoxy and the other threads. So if you don't get this off here smooth enough, your threads won't go on right. Oh yeah, it's getting there. Almost there. I love my power wrapper. I only use my power wrapper to do this and run long under wraps. Everything else I hand turn. I need to get the new wheels. I love my wrapper. Don't get it wrong. It's a CRB. And basically, the only thing I don't like is that it doesn't have the wheels. And I try to find that at Mud Hole, but they don't really have it for this. I do know a guy on Facebook that makes them, and they're really cool, but to get a set, it would be like 300 bucks. Excuse me. So I'm just kind of dealing with what I got, because if you don't start from the bottom and work your way up, then you don't respect it as much. And that's my take on things. Okay, now I can see where the threads will pull tight into the rod blank, so I know that I'm getting down to where the fibers are. I don't want to go any farther with the sandpaper. That's why I started with 1200, because it's just better. The thinner, the finer the grain, the better it is for this. So it feels really smooth. I don't feel any imperfections in it. It looks really good. Yeah, I'll be able to wrap this really nicely. Get a little bit of that silver off right there. There we go. Now I'm going to take my 91% Walmart brand isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just going to clean up any dust or dirt that's on here. Now I did see, let me tell you, this is what happens. When you pull off the epoxy, I notice that most of the time when I do it on rods, at the very end, it always wants to pull the paint for some reason. And I'm assuming that's because the epoxy is directly on the rod and not on the threads. So when you pull the epoxy up, if it's been painted or if it's, a thing, it will pull the color off the rod a little bit. But the thing is what I'll do is I'll put some clear, I can't even remember what the name of it is called, but I'll put some of this clear stuff on there, and I'll put a link to the website of it when I can get it out and tell you what it's called. And what I'll do, it was just kind of give a coating there so it doesn't mess up the rod and the rod looks clean. Also, when you epoxy back over it, it will fill it in and you won't notice it. So we'll see how it goes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set my threads, and I'll do a part 2 of this video, and I'll put them both on my Facebook or YouTube and my Facebook. And I really appreciate you watching me do this. Don't forget to like and share and follow. Don't forget to ask any questions or give me any comments or tips that might help me do something different or better. Thank you very much. Have a great day.